Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? And welcome back to PRL. This has been a short minute. I know. I apologise. I was very unwell last week. It all went downhill. I conjunctivitis. It wasn't pleasant, but I'm back, and hopefully stronger than ever. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing wonderfully, because I am doing surprisingly well at the moment. Thank you very much for asking. We have got an absolute cracker of a race. It's one of my favourite circuits to race at, this one. A lot of people do. It's a very mixed track. Either people love, it's like Marmite, so you love it or you hate it. I love it. We're at the Hungaroring today in, well, Hungary, as you can probably tell by your screen. We should probably talk a little bit about what the drivers and constructors standings are looking like at the moment. I've also just realised you can hear, like, sorry, all of the chaos that's going on in the background. So I'm just going to blank that out for a moment's time. And first of all, we'll take a little look at the drivers' standings. Now, quite a lot has happened. At the moment, we've got Jay Thompson at the top of the standings, with Spirus Virus in second, Mr. Cookie in third, and F1 2019 in fourth. Jay Thompson is looking in a really, really good position at the moment. I mean, 16 points ahead of the next closest person is quite a big task for Spirus Virus to claw it back, considering this is race 5 of 8. So, or is it 10? I think 10. I genuinely cannot remember. Let me quickly... Oh, I'm confused now. Because you've got different... Yeah, we've got 10, whereas... Oh, it's all confused. Oh, they've got different races per season. Anyway, so it's round 5 of 10. So we're just shy of halfway through. Once we finish this event, we'll be halfway through. And it's still quite a big ask. Like, I'm gonna quite comfortably and confidently say that it's quite a big task to try and bring that back. At the moment, Alpine sits at the top of the standings. No help from Jay Thompson whatsoever on that one. Aston Martin P2, Alfa Romeo P3, Red Bull P4, and Mercedes P5. I say P5 as well because Alfa, Red Bull, and Mercedes are split by 2 points. That is outrageously close, and is certainly an event I am looking forward to seeing. Now, we should probably go and have a little look at the track, what's going on at the moment, because that seems like a moderately wise idea. But first of all, I'm going to be a smart man, right? And I'm going to get everything ready first. I mean, who knew that that was a plausible option? But anyway, I have indeed done it. If I now click back onto this, here we go. Welcome back to a bit of racing. I really have indeed missed it, and it is very nice to be back. It was looking kind of risky. It was like we had 9 drivers with like 5 minutes to go. Hello, I came second yesterday. Oh, Henson, yes, sorry, I did look at that photo you sent me. I just didn't get the opportunity to reply. That did seem like quite a good race. I'm very sad that I wasn't able to view it. But yeah, very well done, Henson. It's a nice little comeback. Let's see a few more events like that. That's kind of what we want to see. F1 2019 is the first man out, hence why we're watching him. Yes, the Martin driver, as we are aware from what we was just saying a moment ago, has been doing fairly well. I really hate the fact that that does that. He's currently P4, as aforementioned. And it's a 1:16.441 is our starting time for today. I mean, it's a starting time. It's not exactly... I mean, I wish I could tell you, oh yeah, that's a good time, that's a bad time. I genuinely can't remember. So we're just going to say, for now, it's a time on the board, and we'll see what comes of it. Seems like a wise idea. Mr. Cookie's next over. So this is a good sort of recognising factor, I guess. Mr. Cookie goes top by nearly a second. So I think low 15s is a lot more competitive than the 16s. Who we got through next? Intensity through next. He goes P3. Mercedes through just after that. I believe he was just starting a lap. By the looks of it, Blackbone just coming through there, getting very, very close. Krasnos next man through. In fact, there's Alfa Romeo 3 first. Silo Dark goes 1:15.4, tops the timing sheets. Kresnos goes P3, and we're already looking like we've got a pretty good little fight on our hands, you know. Got a few drivers coming through now. L4EH through, and he goes P7, and Mr. R. Henson has gone P5. So definitely using that good, that strong finish to the race to his advantage to try and get off to a half decent start. And I think he's doing the job rather nicely, if I do say so myself. Hazard is coming across the line again. So he was obviously not happy with his first lap, and he has improved by a drastic amount. And he's now competitive in P8. Only a few more drivers left to go. Bodium, fastest sector. Oh, it is his first sector, though. That can be quite buggy. We'll watch Bonium anyway. Actually, no, we won't, because Balance just about to cross the line. And he goes with a 1:15.9, goes P5. Cadet just comes across the line there, goes P5. Just notice, why is that happening? What could be causing that? It's just like stuck looking left, I believe it is. Yeah, it is left. Literally no idea why that's happening, so I'm gonna have to try and figure that one out. Well, what's plugged in that could take over? Oh, weird. If that's what's causing it. It was my will. There we go. Lovely. At least that one's fixed. No problems whatsoever. Only must have invalidated. Because he's already done Sector 1. We saw he did Sector 1. Right, okay. Not to worry then. F1 219, I suppose. Right. Most people have now put a lap in. Only got, what, 5 left? 1, 2. Yeah, 5 left that haven't. Honestly, not bad. For 11 minutes in. Sorry, 11 minutes to go. That's a pretty decent number. F1 2019, here we go. Starting a lap. See how he gets on. I've got to say, the thing I... Oh, my oh, it's back. I think my monitor just died for a second there. The thing I like about Hungary is the elevation change. Especially during that first sector. You're up and down so much, and you're just all over the place for a lot of the track. But when you're up here, sort of at the top of the hill, as to speak, it's sort of the only time where it's actually kind of flat. It's flat through pretty much all of the second sector. Then you start going downhill a bit, and then you have a big drop downhill past this sector 2. So this is a good time for F1 2019 at the moment. Little dip, and then you come up over and round the crest, and it's all uphill all the way to the line. I think it's pretty decent elevation change. Whoa, that's fast. Danny Van Rutten, 1:15.2, goes fastest so far. F1 2019 securing P7 with that time. Silo Dark getting on an outlap. Probably somebody to watch out for. Kresnos doing the same as well, but Silo out a lot earlier. So yeah, I think it could definitely be a very interesting qualifying. We just had another Thurston just get thrown into the mix. Really, top 5 could definitely be fighting this out. Definitely. Righty, Cyclo Dark starting his lap. We'll talk you through the lap. Turn 1, heavy braking zone. Get it in third. Be careful not to spin on exit. If you get all too much onto the curb, you'll go. If you get on the power too early, you'll go. This is downhill, inside camber. You've really got to get your braking right. Super easy to lock up if you're not running ABS. All through here is flat. This is going to be a bit worrying. Is the Williams going to get out? Yes, he does. Very nicely so as well. This corner as well, don't touch the inside. It will send you flying, but use that runoff to your advantage. Use this runoff to your advantage. Cut that corner and that corner as much as possible. Don't get too much onto that. It really does slow you down. Curbs, definitely important to get yourself rotated. Hold that right-hand corner into the left. Down this straight, into the right. Does it really nicely. This is a really clean lap so far. Little bit slower through that second sector, unfortunately, though. Gets on the power pretty nicely, and then uphill as well. This corner, you've definitely got to be trail braking through. There's so many of them around this track. He thinks he's on for an okay time because he's finishing the lap. You've got to nail this exit and get your acceleration just right, and I think he's done just that, and he doesn't quite manage to improve on his time, but he did do a fairly good job. Kresnos in the second sector at the moment, travelling extremely slowly, so he's made a colossal error during some point of sector 2 and is trying to gain ERS back to come again. Quite a few more people out on fast laps at the moment, which is always nice to see. Right, so we've had Danny Van Rutten set a time, Cyclo Darks set a time, but it wasn't improved upon. Kresnos didn't go for a lap. Mr. Cookie has just gone skyward. So Blackbone now running into the final sector. He's improving on his time, but it's not by an awful lot. Could it get him into the top 3? Yes. Is he going to do much better than that? Probably not. So he's got quite a task. The sector 3 is very, very short, but can be very crucial. It is going to be P3, and it's going to be P3 by a fairly small margin, but once again, it is a fairly small margin to P2 as well. It's definitely getting more. Whoa, that's a good time from Boney, and 1:15 dead. Knocks everybody out of the water. Right. I was not expecting that from Boney, if I'm being totally honest. That has come out of nowhere. Well, Kresnos with a great time as well. 1:15.2. This track is really ramping up in speed. We saw Kresnos go a little bit earlier, and it looked to be a half decent time, and then he kind of fluffed it in sector 2 at some point, but he's gotten back on the pace pretty quickly. Fallon is on an in lap. You can tell that just by the amount of ERS he's used. F1 2019's on a fast lap, I think. It's a very hit or miss because we're halfway through the lap, so to have that much ERS left in the tank is understandable. Oscar's just started a lap, hasn't he? Oh no, he's just finished lap. Oh, F1 2019's validated anyway. Nothing to worry about. And into the pit lane he comes. Well, we got Psycho on an outlap. Mr. Cookie getting on an outlap soon as well. You know, he has just gotten himself onto an outlap. Plug my phone in. Actually, no, I don't need to. Oh, it is on 16%. Yeah, plug that in. Right, so we got 3 on an outlap at the moment, so these are our early runners. And then, what, in about minutes time, it'll all kick off. It usually does, roughly around about sort of the 3-minute mark, is when all hell breaks loose. So be looking forward to it. Let's see. Good improvement from the Psycho so far through Sector 2. Sorry, I'll just sort of let the thing take its course, because most people are still in the pit lane. And Psycho coming in, so obviously Sector 3 didn't do all that much favourable to him, and he didn't see any reason to stay out, which, I mean, yeah, do what you want, I guess. Mr. Cookie, though, he is on a fast lapse, so we will certainly keep him watch on him. Cookie is looking, I was about to say Cookie's looking awfully slow, because he stopped and going for a second lap. F1 2019 has finished. Pretty much everybody is now on outlaps. Let's see how. Who have we got? We got Kresnos has just started a lap, actually. That is somebody we should keep an eye on. Because Kresnos currently P2. He's got a 10th of a way to go. It is an improvement from Kresnos through Sector 2, but it's not going to be enough, really, if he's going to try and go for pole position. Everybody else now on their laps. Can Kresnos get the job done? Mercedes running very wide there, just letting Kresnos through on his fast lap. It's going to be pole. It is a very good time, and just enough time for him to try and go for another lap, though. With very limited ERS, I can't really see that working to quite the highest of expectations. Bonium has also indeed just about managed to get a lap in. Mr. Cookie finishes off. He's not going to go for it. Danny Van Rutten is on an absolute flyer. Can he go to pole? He does go to pole immediately. Kresnos, that's him done. Bonium, by the looks of it, it's him done as well. And my goodness, it was looking like it was going to be such a close qualifying. And then all of a sudden, Danny has absolutely demolished anybody's hopes of going through. And Bonium still not improving. He is very down on his time, in fact. So I think that is a wrap indeed. There's nobody else on the grid that's really going to be all that much of an issue. Bonium just coming around the final corner now. And it's not going to be an improvement. So he will remain in P3. It's not enough to go up to P2. So Danny Van Roten, 114.7. Kresnos, the only person that got into the 114s is Mr. Danny. Everybody else was in the 115s except for Hazard, who just didn't break the 115s. He's the 116.011. Very, very close indeed, but not quite the ticket. I mean, look at how... Oh, we'll see how close they are in just a moment's time, but it is truly ridiculous how fast this Mercedes is in comparison to everybody else. So there you go, Danny Van Roten on pole for the Mercedes-Benz team. Kresnos in P2 for Red Bull. Bonium P3 for Williams, just 300ths split those two. Mr. Cookie P4, Silo Dark P5, Oscar P6, Blackbone P7, Balint P8, Catet P9, JR Poole P10, J Thompson P11, R Henson in P12, ALX P13, Intensity P14, Koski P15, Psycho P16, F1 2019 in P17, and in P18, Hazard. Oh yeah, baby, we have rain. Right, Kresnos, let's go, rain. Our Henson, oh. I mean, this is certainly going to be our Henson, not for long, no. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in a very wet Hungary. It was quite a long start, but we are finally away. And Danny Van Roten gets off to an absolutely fantastic start. Kresno not going to be able to push for the lead. In fact, he's going to just have to defend. So the absolute pandemonium that's happening behind is going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Is there going to be many calamities? It's not too bad there through the first corner. Kresnos holds it nicely. Bonium holds P3. Oscar gets himself up into P4 on the McLaren. Pushes the Alfa Romeo very wide. Can he get himself? Yes, he does get him back onto track. It's not too much of an issue for him, and oh, he spins it into the wall. So goes Cyclo Dark. Luckily, he's managed to stay within the race, but I'm surprised that he's managed to do that. That was a consistent, very big hit that we saw there. And it has fairly quieted down almost immediately. You know, it's going to be a very difficult challenge. It is a very wet race by the looks of it. And look at that, Blackbone. You can just see how a tiny little mistake can make a huge change. And Blackbone just falling a couple of places there during the midst of the mayhem, and I think our Henson's going to be able to scoop them round. Can the Arhenson get it? Yes, he does. Well done, Arhenson. Fantastic move from the inside. He kept it all the way around the corner. Blackbone wasn't able to quite keep up. On board with the Ferrari here, and Balint under threat a little bit from Jay Thompson. Current championship leader all the way down in P8, needs to try and up his game and get a couple of positions, even especially in this early part of the race where a couple of people might be struggling slightly. It's a good opportunity to swoop through and take a couple of places, and I think Jay Thompson is well aware of that fact and will be trying to do that as much as physically possible throughout the next couple of laps. As mentioned earlier, apparently it's not supposed to stay wet for particularly long, so it's important to get the most out of this whilst you can, especially if you are a bit of a rain god. I mean, I'm not a rain god, I'm sort of a rain liker, but I certainly do prefer racing in the rain. There's a bit more of a skill to it, and there's a bit more of a throttle to it. You know, you have got to be very, very careful on that throttle and know how to control the car in the corner. So, you know, some drivers will have it, some drivers won't. Danny Van Rutten definitely does have it, because he's just gone fastest and pulling away from Kresnos by the moment now. 1.4, nearly 1.5 seconds between them. Yes, it is. We're on just 3 laps, which means when it does dry out, we are in a bit of trouble, because there's going to be no DRS between the two of them. Obviously, there's no DRS at the moment. It's far too wet for DRS. So we are all okay for now. And I've got to say, not a lot's going on at the moment. I really hope this isn't the case all race. This is the thing, I like a wet race, but it does slow down a bit of overtaking. Like, that is a downside to it. I mean, yeah, there's ups and downs. You know, you really got to, that's the thing, you really got to time your overtakes. You really got to make the most of those opportunities, because they're not going to go they're not going to go your way all the time. Even more so in the wet. You know, it's just that much more unpredictable. So the drivers have to be a lot more calculated with what they do. I mean, Jay Thompson, he's just riding the back of Ballin. Even more so, he's riding alongside now, as I was trying to think of his name. Goes down the inside, gets it done only just, though. Makes the most out of the corner. I'm amazed that only just about works there. Alrighty, well, Jay Thompson will be in the sort of important mind of just trying to catch up as much as physically possible to the drivers in front. He's doing so pretty nicely. He was on 1.1. He's now down to 0.8, and that's sort of just fluctuating a little bit. F1 2019 just behind, very, very close to the back of the Williams. Are Henson under a lot of threat as of right this very second. But by the looks of it, F1, he's still on the back. Sorry, I'm really not with it. F1 2019, he's holding on to the back of our Henson. Hasn't really had much of an opportunity to get past, so lost a little bit of time. And he is going to go for it at the hairpin. Turn 1. Gets it done, but opens the switchback for our Henson and shuts it off pretty nicely. Very good from the Aston Martin driver. The Alpine driver, however, Jay Thompson, has already caught up to the back of the Ferrari. He is in a very pacey mood and is evidently showing it off. Right, okay. Well, whilst nothing's happening, should we talk a bit of F1 news? because Mr. Adrian Newey, all hell's broken loose today. So if you haven't been on the internet, Newey's leaving Red Bull. As far as most people are, lots of news outlets are recording it, that Newey is set to leave Red Bull. This Alpine is set to overtake the team where everybody think Newey is going to, Ferrari, which is a certain possibility, but it has kind of overshadowed the Ferrari blue, which is another really interesting thing. I'm just watching a meme here of F1 teams finding out Adrian Newey's leaving Red Bull, and scrambling to get hold of him, which honestly, fair enough. I mean, Newey is such a huge asset to Red Bull, and it is going to be a big concern for them. Can they hold on to the success that they've got at the moment without him? I don't know. I mean, I don't think no one knows, to be brutally honest. I don't even think Red Bull know. Literally no one has a clue. But it's certainly going to be interesting to find out, because everyone does credit him for the designs. Everyone does credit him for a lot of the work that he puts into the team. So it's certainly going to be a big change for how the team runs as well. They've lost one of those really big higher up positions. It's definitely going to make a change. Also, by the way, it's stopped raining, which is quite nice. Hasn't quite got dry enough yet to be putting slicks on, but it is a lot drier. And look at this as well. The Mercedes is going to be able to go for the move on our Henson here. Arquette does get it done. Our Henson once again open for the opportunity to go for the switchback. Is he going to be able to pull it off? What on earth's happening? They continue to run down. Mercedes inside line gets it done very nicely. The Williams pretty much out of a chance of getting that move completed. But I'm going to stick with these guys, because these guys are definitely sort of the closest fight we have at the moment, especially Blackburn right on the back of our Henson. Our Henson really struggling recently. Lost quite a few places over the last couple of laps. Maybe just those intermediates not working for him. But I think Blackburn's going to try and go for it at the chicane. It's a brave place to go, but he got it done. Fair play, Blackburn. Well done. That is impressive. So yeah, there we go. A bit of racing completed. We'll go and have a little look at these guys. These guys are all pretty close. In other news, Haas team principal, which you know me and pronouncing names, it's not something I'm particularly good at. But the Haas team principal has come out and said, we have 3 teams with 0 points, and I don't think that's good for the sport. And the RB team principal, somebody else whose name I can't pronounce, said something which I'm going to have to wait for just a moment, because I think the Ferrari is going to try and go for a move here down the inside. Can Ballin get it done? It's pretty good on the exit. Yeah, really nice from Ballin there. Good braking, good timing. Is going to be able to cover this inside line nicely as well, and hold off JR Paul, who I think made a mistake there and has let his teammate F1 2019 through. If I'm correct in saying, I think I am. So yeah, the RB team principal, another person whose name I can't pronounce, says it's very difficult to explain to the outside world, to our partners and to our fans, that we battle for a P11 that actually grants 0 points. Oh, what do I think to that? I don't really know. It's kind of the debate of, should the point system change? A lot of people are calling for a bit of change in the point system to push it to sort of more people getting... Whoa, that AlphaTauri! What's he doing? He's braked far too late. Blackburn into that corner has had to try and take the runoff. Did very well to take the runoff, actually. I commend him for that. That was very good and very sensible. And well managed for his poor mistake. We'll say that. I don't think more points should be granted. I think the build needs to get a bit more competitive. I mean, the first comment on this Instagram post really, really sums it up, really, I'm going to say. And it just says, remember the time where there was 26 plus cars on the grid, but only the first 8 finishers got points. Points are supposed to be hard to get. You know, you're supposed to have to sort of really work to get points. You know, you need to turn up with a good package. You need to get very competitive to get points. And the second one as well. There's no need to change the point system. If you lose 5-0 in football, you do not get points either. So if you finish outside the top 10, why should you get points for that? It doesn't make a difference in the championship itself. And that's the thing as well, because just because, you know, if no teams scored, say two teams scored no points throughout a season, there'll still be one that finishes ahead of the other. It's not just based on alphabetical order. It's based on then where you finished outside those top 10 every single race. You know, if one team finishes P19 and P20 every year, 2019 Williams. Sorry, I had a bit of cough there. But another team finished often sort of like P12, P13 kind of region for both of their cars, sort of like the P15 to P11 region, but just never actually got to score points. Well, that seems clearly better, so they get that position. Lots of analytical maths goes into determining. I don't actually know the system for it, but I imagine it is fairly complex and thorough. So yeah, I think it's fair enough. Somebody else who actually I think ties in quite nicely. Here's a thought for them all. Having points to 12th place would seem much more reasonable if there was an 11th team. Just an idea. Yeah, you know, because Andretti would bring nothing to the sport. I'm still genuinely so surprised that F1 came out with that statement. Like, just be honest. DRS is enabled, by the way. Which means it's certainly dry enough to start thinking about slicks, as the top two have. So is Bonium. So is Jay Thompson. Oscar's not. He's staying out. He's the only man to stay. Oh no, his teammate Balance staying out as well. F1 2019's in. JR Paul's out. Gatette's in. Blackbone's in. So's Lex. So's Koski. Intensity. He is as well. McLaren, Mr. Cookie stays out. Oh, no, I say he stays out. He's on mediums already. All of these guys are on mediums at the back. Okay, interesting. These two Ferraris battling like mad. Only concern is right behind them's Danny. Literally a second off. He's got a penalty though, which is surprising to say the least. I would have thought, you know, if he was that quick, you know, he'd stay out of trouble. But evidently not. He is, though he is catching them at quite the rate of knots, I've got to say. Oh, he's through one, and they're both coming in anyway. We knew that was going to happen. It's just, it's dry now. Well, it's not, but it's dry enough to the point of, yeah, why are we still racing on these? Hopefully, though, this should open the door for a bit more racing. Fingers very crossed. Because after all we ever want is racing. That's the only objective we have. Entertainment comes from the racing, so let's have good racing. Is the logic circle behind it. Oh, close battles. Not a lot going on. Yeah, Paul, that's pretty close. That's very close. I've got to say, with each one of these I do, the more and more I miss not having a co-commentator. It's not fun. I've got to say, and I'm getting bored of like wearing myself down to the bone from just waffling so much. So hence why I'm sort of just almost a bit like a podcast, but we've also got a race to watch, and then I can talk about that when something's happening there. But I think there's quite a nice mix, really, that I can, you know, sit and have a chat with you, and then also commentate about the race. If I had a co-commentator, then, you know, we could talk about the race the entire time. But I can't do it, to be totally honest. I mean, I have for quite a long time, but you know me, I end up not talking for 30 seconds because I'm yawning my head off. So I thought, oh, you know what? That's not what people want to see. People don't want to see me so worn out from talking so much that I'm yawning whilst I'm doing it. This is a pretty close fight, you know. This could certainly be interesting. I'm going to keep my close eye on this one. And Balint, 3-second time penalty. Not ideal for him. Stone's Cookie, I don't know whether it's a 3-second, but he has got a penalty of some description. Penalties, it is a 3-second. Danny's on 8 seconds of penalties. Dear Lord, Danny, get yourself calmer, man. That's not good. It's a annoying thing is he's not leading the race at the moment, which is annoying because he's just going to set the fastest lap. It's like he can get penalties and it doesn't really matter because he'll still win the race anyway. Winds me up when that's the case. Well, at the moment he isn't winning it, which is, I guess, kind of a bit of a benefit. At least it has a little bit of what's it? Tension to the mix. But he has just got to pull away 2.5 seconds. And so what we've seen so far definitely says I can pull away 2.5 seconds like that. Maybe he was geared up more towards, wasn't geared up more towards the wet because he absolutely nailed qualifying. You know what I mean? He's just flying. He's absolutely flying on this. Ooh, move. Missed it. Damn, missed it. Oh well. Right, we need something else. Let's look on X. Whoa! Whoa, what happened, Cookie? VSC? Whoa! Right, I'm going to watch the replay of that. I was just looking at the screen. And then he just... Oh, the rear just steps out. He has survived, surprisingly. But, Jesus, that was a big hit. I'm amazed that he's still in this race. Amazed he's still in this race. Right, do excuse me for 2 seconds. I will return in just a moment's time. What in the smek happened here? Why is Bonium now leading the race? Danny P3. Right, okay. I'll disappear for 2 seconds, man. Right, I'm just going to have to re-watch these last couple of minutes just to see what happens. We have the virtual safety car. Danny's in the lead of the race. Danny's in the lead of the race. And then he's all of a sudden not in the lead of the race. Oh, he's picked. Oh, right. Okay. So we got different strategies now. He's just fitted a fresh set of hards to last him the next half of the race. Which does leave Jay Thompson and Bonium a little bit open for a danger because, yeah, those mediums are going to be wrecked by the end of the race. And I get why everyone went to mediums. That makes logical sense. Whoa, my God, that Ferrari is fast on that straight. So I haven't seen the effects of DRS up until that point. That was absolutely astoundingly quick. What was it? Oscar just flew down there. Our Hence has just gone fastest. Down in P13. And F1 2019, they're just getting past the Alfa Romeo very nicely as well. Right. Oh, what have I done? Whoops. Accidentally pressed the windows. My apologies. Danny's just gone fastest. So in other news, the sky is blue, the sky is grey, the grass is green, and he's catching. He's catching. But he's got that 8-second penalty, which is certainly going to put a damper on his mood and a damper on his chances. So he's got to work to try and get himself back into the lead of this race. So it's not quite over yet. We've still got, what, another 15, 16 laps of this race to go. We've still got bloody ages. But it's alright, it's alright. What else have we got going on this circuit? Honestly, Danny is the man to watch right now, because he is now right on the back of that Alpine. And he is going to try and go for the move around the outside, and does indeed get it done. Danny is a man on a mission, and that mission is taking place right now. He's going for the move. For the net leader, well, not for the net lead, for the track lead of the race. This man is ruthlessly fast. Don't know about the penalties, really. Because he could just really launch away from everybody else. This is going to be hard for him to... The thing is, he's got to try and break DRS, which at the moment he's doing so rather nicely. He's just got to put fastest sector 1 time in. Got to break DRS and then pull away another 7 seconds after that. It's quite a lot to do, in all honesty. Right. This isn't going well, is it? It's pretty quiet out on track, I must say. Watch our Henson a little bit. We'll get a bit of DRS out of the back of the Alfa Romeo. Right. This is getting interesting. This is getting interesting. Can our Henson get himself past? Let's hope that is the case. He doesn't quite manage to get through there. He was looking to try to go around the outside. Alfa Romeo blocked that pretty nicely without causing the Williams too much issue. Sort of, you know, getting in his way, you know, crashing into him, sort of chaos. But I think he does manage it in the end, and JR Paul has joined this fight well and truly, though has immediately exited the fight straight away after that. I'm really sort of out of words, to be honest. JR Thompson is sort of just hanging on to Backbonium, not doing too much. He isn't really closing in. Blackbone's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. He is currently P16 and will be dropped to P17 with that. Oh, we got a caution, yellow flag, sector 2. It's Mercedes stopped on track. That's Catet stopped. He's got going again. Thankfully, no major damage by the looks of it. Quickly check the front wing. Everything seems to be attached. Not bad, you know. He's looking in good nick. So I don't really know what caused it or what actually happened. But he is okay, which is nice to see. JR Paul there has managed to just finally get past Goski. Took a little while, took a couple of laps, but he has indeed managed it. So that really leaves us with Jay Thompson to sit and watch. We got a yellow flag, caution, sector 3. That's Blackbone stopped on track. Rather nastily as well, but he's managed to get himself going again. He is not out of this race just yet. Has put on a fresh pair of softs to get himself going till the end of the race, which I say is a fairly wise move. He's not exactly towards the front of the grid. You know, an extra bit of speed will definitely help, even if it is just to take fastest lap. Oh no, Blackburn, 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. I mean, he is currently P17, but not ideal either way. Jay Thompson, he's beginning to lean into Bonium a little bit. Danny isn't quite safe just yet. Oh, he's only down to 3 seconds now. Oh no, he's paid off the 5. Oh, that makes much more sense as to why he pitted, because he's managed to drop. What happened to Cookie? Cookie had a nightmare. He's not done very well this race at all, if I'm being totally honest. He's just had a bit of a meander about, and then he was going into what's it, turn 1, 2, 3. The long left-hander where you're going downhill, and it's a long left-hander, and then you quickly switch over to the right in sector 1. And he was coming around the corner. He was turning, and then he should have been straightening up, but he kept turning, and he went straight into the wall. Just a big hit of oversteer, just sent him flying into the wall. He recovered. He didn't lose a wheel or anything, but frustrating nevertheless for Cookie, I can only imagine. But it could have been worse. He survived at least. Good result so far for Jay Thompson, even if he does stay P3. Interesting enough, Kresnos beginning to get in on this action as well, which is nice to see. And as well, it was absolutely soaking wet at the start of the race, and it has significantly dried up. It is a lovely sunny day now in Hungary. It was hammering it down to begin with. It wasn't quite full wets, but it was inters. And yeah, we're now back onto nice dry conditions, and it is very chill. It's been a very chilled out race, J Horse. I'm going to be totally honest with you. We talked some F1 news, and a little bit of action here and there. A very nice camera shot right now. I'm liking this camera shot. Wish that I just saw this kind of shot more, because it's a nice, interesting shot. It gives you a really good perspective on the cars and their speed, because you can see everything moving around really quickly. But yeah, it's pretty chilled out, pretty chilled out. This is our closest and sort of most important fight at the moment. Jay Thompson obviously needs the points. Krasnos wants it quite badly. Danny Ramrussen only on 3 seconds of time penalties, so he's pretty safe for the moment. But so far, we haven't had exactly much going on. It's not looking for Jay Thompson, is it? It is not looking good at all. Krasnos. Ooh, it's weird how it splits up so quickly. And that is very much quite a lot of what's going on. So we've got currently 2 drivers, one driver within a tenth, within a second of another. Jay Thompson just bringing it back down again, and JR Poole as well. LX, interestingly, coming into the pit lane, being on a brand new fresh pair of softs. As Blackbone just goes fastest with a 126.9 on his set of softs, so I think we can see exactly the plan that is taking place on LX. He wasn't going to be getting points anyway, so may as well go and try and get that fastest lap, which honestly I cannot blame him for. Krasnos certainly lurking in on Bonium. See if Krasnos. We got 5 laps remaining. All right. Right, I feel like I've been really, I have been really quiet today. I know I have. I do apologise for it. It has been a rather long race of whether not a lot. I think Krasnos could get this move done. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tough, but I reckon he could pull it off. LX as well, right on the back of the Mercedes, gets it done. Ooh, little bit of a skirmish there from JR Paul. Could possibly open the opportunity for our Henson to get himself up into P8. Definitely see our Henson possibly getting a move done here. We're on lap 32 and 35, so we've got 3 laps remaining. So not long for anybody to try and bring themselves up a position, if at all possible. Danny looking likely to be 10 seconds clear of anybody pre-penalties by the time we have finished this race. We've got a yellow flag, so it's 2, but that has gone away pretty quickly. JR Paul defending quite nicely. We're going to jump back up to the front runners, in particular Kresnos and Bonian, because I think it's much more likely to see a bit of a climatic end up here. Very close, isn't it? I'm just... I think... What you guess is, I think Kresnos has got this in the bag. It's going to be difficult for him to do it. Bonium is defending pretty nicely. This is going to be outrageously close. Right, so we are going on to lap 34 or 35. 2 more times. Oh my god, he's done it. Whoa! Bonium's disconnected. Oh no, he's back. Is he disconnected? No, he hasn't. Oh my god, I didn't know what happened there for a second then. Bonium went very ghosted. this is going to come right down to the wire, isn't it? So on to the final lap. These two are still side by side, and I think Kresnos is finally going to try and go for it. He tries to go to the outside. It didn't quite pull off. Can he swap it to the inside? Go for the quick switchback. Isn't quite going to pull off. The Williams holds the inside, holds the position for now, but the Red Bull holding the outside pretty nicely. Doesn't quite hold the entire way around. They continue going side by side. Bonium gets himself back up into P2 with Kresnos sat comfortably and over a car length behind. He's going to have to try and get himself in front by any means necessary, really. Not sure if he's going to be able to pull it off. And no, it's been a huge mistake for the Red Bull. Broke far too late for that corner, and it's completely opened the door for the Williams to win. We're going to skip ahead to the Mercedes, and finally something happened during the race. Isn't it wonderful? And Danny Van Rassen coming around the corner for one final time. He's led pretty much the entire race, and he's done so in momentous fashion. Mr. Cookie, Danny wins. Mr. Cookie gets fastest lap right at the last second, and Bonium will definitely pick up P2 by the likes of it. And yes, Bonium P2 in the end. Kresnos picking up P3. Joe Thompson a respectable P4, and Balance quite a long way behind will pick up P5. Not sure about the penalties though, so quickly check that. Oh no, it's both 6 seconds. So the two Ferraris, P5 and P6, very nice for the Ferrari team. P7, P8 for the Aston Martin as well. So they can't really complain about that too much. And Oscar has DNF'd before the line. And he's going to fall down the order. Down. Oh, that's tragic. That's so sad. Oh, that's a surprise to be sure. Oscar goes from being like P6 to last. Congratulations to all three drivers, and especially our winner today. Very, very deserving, albeit a very calm race for him. Congratulations to the lot of them. So, Danny Van Rotten wins for the Mercedes team, and Bonium in P2 for Williams. Kresnos P3 for Red Bull, and Jay Thompson P4 for Alpine. Ballant P5 for Ferrari, F1 2019 P for Aston Martin. JR Paul P7 for Aston Martin, and Henson P8 for Williams. Alex P9 for Haas, and Koski P10. Psycho P11, and P12 is Cadet in P13 Intensity, and then it's P14 Mr. Cookie, Hazard P15, Bergen P16, Blackbone P17, and Cyclodart in P18. So that wraps it up today. I do hope you have all enjoyed watching. I've been the Carstristics. It hasn't been much of a race, to be honest. Thank you, and good night.